And I'm going to introduce your speaker here today, Natasha Flood. She's professional learning lead at aiEDU. She's a versatile professional proficient in education, training, and graphic design. She's driven by a passion for expanding access to opportunities and enhancing the learning journey for individuals of all ages. As a member of aiEDU, she uses a diverse skill set that's honed through years of collaborations with many different organizations that she's collaborated with, including iMentor, iRex, and Pursuit. Has a background in youth development and worked as an educator in various cities such as Istanbul, Athens, New York, and Baltimore. Is committed to crafting inclusive and transformative programs. She strives to empower learners to see their potential and turn it into power to fulfill their own aspirations. Beyond her professional endeavors, Natasha finds joy in painting, making memories with her golden doodle, Alan, a sunny run, and getting lost in new cities. So welcome, Natasha, and I'm going to pass it over to you to share your work.
Awesome. Thank y'all for having me. You may hear Al in the background, just in case. I do live in a major city. So if you do see him, just say hey. I'm super excited to be here today. Thank you, Caitlin, for the amazing bio. I'm pretty sure AI supported the development of that bio as well when it was created. So great way. But I am from aiEDU, super excited to join us today and thinking about when we're thinking about AI, we really want to scale back and think about why do we want to understand AI? Why do you want to think about having it in our classrooms? And so we're going to start there today. And so I'm sure the other sessions will build on and continue to develop your why. A little bit of my background, again, educator, I've been in various types of classrooms. And I started working with AI about 3 years ago when I was working with different kinds of learners who are transitioning into the technical workforce. And so, of course, folks come with different reading backgrounds, different educational backgrounds, and different language backgrounds. And so in order for all my learners to feel confident, I used AI to help them write resumes, LinkedIn posts, emails, whatever it needed to be written. I wanted them to feel confident in putting themselves back out into the world, into the workforce. And so we use AI, leverage AI in that way. And I think there are so many ways we can leverage AI. We're going to see a little bit of that in our session today. And so as we get started, I want to share some norms, right? Want to encourage y'all to use the chat, engage with one another. We are a community. So there's going to be some opportunities where I'm going to prompt you to respond in the chat, but it's going to be available to you the entire time. Want y'all to talk, right? I might ask y'all to read some quotes or even unmute to verbally share. And there's also maybe space for you to chat and connect in breakout rooms as well. We're going to explore some different examples and some ideas about AI really might blow your mind. So we want you to suspend disbelief. Remember, this session is about opening your eyes to AI and helping you understand and focus on the impact it can have on education. And then last but not least, we know that AI can trigger various emotions. We want you to feel. You might feel uncomfortable or anxious, and that's completely fine. Our goal today is to really provide you with that foundation for your AI journey. And we know that's going to come with a variety of feelings. So I share those in the chat, y'all. Let us know what's on your minds as we go through our session today. A little about aiEDU, or the AI Education Project. We are a nonprofit that creates equitable learning experiences to excite and empower students with AI literacy. But I would say students and educators as well. We've been around since about 2019, and we offer free curriculum materials and professional learning opportunities just like these to tens of thousands of educators and thousands of students as well who use our materials. And so, also, I know I talk fast. I'm from New York. And I talk with such urgency. So if at any time it is too fast, please drop a little running man in the chat. That means I am running through the content, and I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that you are able to get it. So let me know so I can just mindfully try to slow down. And so as we get started, I want us to take a moment to connect on our why for being here or choosing this session. So take a moment, jot that to yourself. What is your why for really thinking about introducing or moving forward with AI in your classroom? And I want you to drop that in the chat when you're ready. For folks who are just joining us, again, we are just starting, so you didn't miss much. We are just grounding down in our why for this session. Why did you choose this session? And why are you thinking about moving forward with AI in your classroom? Once you're ready, you can drop that in the chat. I don't use it, or have I used it? I'm just now learning about it. Tanya, that's a good question. Have you used it? Have you not? We're going to talk about how AI builds in the world around us. So super excited for you to bridge the gap. Other folks, what are we thinking? What is your why for introducing AI in your classroom? What do we, I know for some educators, they want to bridge the gap when it comes to accessibility and making sure all students are able to engage. AI seems to be everywhere. Jody, you never lied about that. I want to get ahead of some of these AI, these issues that it might pose, completely understand. The students are definitely already using it. So at least teach them how to do it correctly. And on that note, that's what this is about, right? If our students are going to use it anyway, it is in the world around them, we might as well give them some ramifications to better understand and use the tool. And I think it's clear, right? A lot of us are going to be, what's going to come up in our session is that a lot of us are on our own AI journey when it comes to literacy, right? And as teachers and as educators and specialists, we really got to get clear on our why so that we can then share that same why and investment with our students. So we'll keep coming back to this why throughout our session today. So keep it handy, even if you didn't share it in the chat. So I'm going to give you a second to read these objectives for today. And now, so I just want to underscore as you're reading, right? The aim for today is for us as educators to really walk away with one, an understanding of AI, two, why AI literacy matters, and then three, begin thinking about the steps we need to take to begin considering to address AI readiness in our classrooms. And here's a little peek at our agenda. And for those who haven't come to any, we haven't been to any red sessions, we do offer free learning sessions to educators, well, anyone, as long as you sign up. Usually on West Coast time, so even those on the East Coast are able to attend, but I know we have some folks all over the world. This is the first session in our series. So I'll share a link to our professional learning series. We do have some work coming up throughout the rest of the season. And so would love to see you guys there to continue build on this learning we're doing here today. But again, it's the starting point, right? We are talking about a deeper understanding of what AI and AI literacy are all about, creating opportunities for AI literacy with you, yourself, with you, your colleagues, your students, and thinking about what the future holds using some of our resources. And so in the chat, I want to see, I know folks say, nah, I'm not quite sure how I've interacted with AI, but for those who have seen AI or use AI in their daily lives, right? What is a shocking or exciting way you've seen AIs used recently? I know we have some folks who may be unmuted. Just want to make sure everyone is muted so we don't get that background noise. AI and social media. I use AI to plan my last trip to Colombia. But I also recently seen AI used in farming and agriculture. It's actually one of the examples that we share in our presentation too. Yep, conversations, the realistics AI. Yes, exactly. Human traits. So you guys are seeing it. You guys are seeing it in the world around you, right? And we may not be all be able to address it or identify it, but hopefully after today's session, you'll be able to identify those kind of hidden, secret, or not so clear AI tools that are embedded in our everyday lives. So we're going to get started because we do have a short amount of time today, y'all. What we're going to do is going to talk about what's happening. I'm going to show you a lot of videos and images just to help us ground ourselves in what technology actually is. And then some of these things you might have seen before, but what's important is that we see them together to really build a collective understanding of the AI landscape. So first, we're going to establish where AI sits within historical technological developments. Then we're going to define AI. And then finally, we're going to look at some incredible uses of AI that I'm really excited about. So on our screen, right, we see a lot of images. These images represent some of the key technologies that have really changed the course of history. So I'm going to name a few. We have the airplane, which I know a lot of us love, right? And the airplane made land and overseas travel possible in hours instead of minutes. We have the personal computer or the PC, which I think we're all on. And this really helped how we transform how we think about work, how we shop, how we study, how we communicate. We also have the cell phone, which made it possible to communicate quickly and from almost anywhere. And now we have AI and some other AIs some other different types of AI that we'll also include and learn about as well. And so I know you guys have been hearing a lot about AI and generative AI and machine learning, and they may seem like buzzwords, but they're actually really important. So as we get in our session, you want to start by really clearly defining what AI, what artificial intelligence is, and generative AI, because they're going to come up throughout our session. And so when we're thinking about artificial intelligence, that is a technology that leverages massive data sets and computational power to make predictions, increasingly impacting various aspects of our daily lives. That is going to be a really big general definition of AI. And so we're thinking about types of AI. We have generative AI, which is going to be an artificial intelligence or type of AI technology that can produce various types of content, including text, imagery, audio, and a lot of synthetic data, giving folks a moment to grab that in. And if I didn't say earlier, you definitely want to have a tool handy just to keep a couple notes. And at the end of this, I'm also going to give you a handout that's going to really help you walk through and continue learning from what we're sharing today. So now, right, can I get a volunteer to read what's on the slide? Just to get some other voices in the room. I know folks may be a little shy, and that's okay.
I'll do it.
Awesome.
Oh,
AI is the most profound technology humanity is working on, more profound than fire, electricity, or anything that we have done in the past.
Yes, right. And so the AI that we think we're using today was really conceived as early as the creation of our first computer, y'all, right? So it's not really new. It is just new to us. And shout out to our reader. Thank you, Gloria. I think that was you. um, then humans, we made a series of key advancements that really constituted the keys ingredients for unlocking the AI that we're using now. And so those first key advancements were obvious, right? We had the computer and the internet. That's what we needed. And then once you unlock that magic, right, machine learning became widespread and reached adoption in like the early 2010s. And then we had those rapidly growing data sets and then access to cloud computing, which really bumped it up a notch. And then don't talk about the advancements in chip making that made all of this possible. And so the AI that we're talking about today, though we're thinking about large language models, ChatGPT and Claude, those were discovered in around 2017. And so again, just want to highlight that AI has always existed around us in many ways, but it is coming to the forefront and being made public and accessible to others currently. And so now let's take a look at some of the incredible examples of what AI can do. What we have on the screen is a graph. No math needed, y'all, I promise. So this is just highlighting some of the rapid progress of AI technology. So in the same way that humans began processing, the same way that we process language and images, AI has been working toward that same skill set and level, right? Of it. And so as we think about this, humans were doing this better to about 2019. And then with the application of those large language models or LLMs in 2019, we see a really sharp increase in AI's ability to recognize language and images. And so this rapid movement or improvement of AI systems and tools, we really have to get ourselves ready for the world that is coming. And some of us aren't really able to even imagine it yet. And so I want to highlight that AI is developing, it is growing. Someone mentioned earlier, it is becoming more human-like, right? Its skills are increasing. Take a moment to read the headline that's on our screen. See, this is simply highlighting that something that you also said in the chat. AI is being brought into all major companies, y'all. It's becoming a key part of their products and company function. And so now I want to see anything surprising so far or exciting. What have you seen and what does it make you think? And so keep thinking. We're going to keep seeing now some examples, right, that are really going to blow your mind. So as you see these other examples, I want you to drop your live thoughts in the chat. What does it make you think? What is surprising? So on the screen, what we have is an examples of AI being used to generate images from an MRI. So how is this possible? Research published through Cornell University shows how AI can be used to better understand the brain to computer connection. But more specifically, it was an AI that was trained on human brain activity. So if you're taking a look at the images we're seeing, on the left is an image or a picture that a person saw, right? So I'm viewing a picture of a giraffe. An MRI was taken as the person was viewing that image. Then an AI tool that was trained on MRIs or human brain activity processed that MRI and then generated the image on the right. And so again, an AI is able to view your brain activity and then show what you're seeing. That's pretty incredible. And so again, able to look at images or build images based on brain function. Here are some more examples of how AI is really getting better at understanding the physical world around us. So again, seen image, MRI's image. It has the skills and knowledge to reproduce images that we see in actuality. It is able to understand what a British bus looks like, right? Or a bus in a certain place. It understands what a bird might look like and different types of birds because it is learning and evolving. So now I'm going to show you two examples of large language models. In these specific use cases, the LLMs go from rudimentary or really basic to better than human ability. And so the first one we're looking at on our screen, this is going to be OpenAI Sora. I don't know if it's released yet, but it stands out as one of the more game-changing technologies when it comes to text-to-video capabilities. But it's also really surprising how it's able to model physics in this virtual world. And you'll see below, that is the prompt. The prompt was photorealistic close-up video of two pirates battling each other as they venture through, I think, a cup of coffee. So imagine you're able to put in a prompt and create things as realistic as this. Now, this is one of my favorite examples. Folks may have seen this before, and that is just fine. But this is from another branch of AI, robotics, and again, modeling physics in the real world.
Cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
Great. Can I have something to eat?
Sure thing.
Great. Can you explain why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
Great. So, based on the scene right now, where do you think the dishes in front of you go next?
The dishes on the table, like that plate and cup, are likely to go into the drying rack next.
Great. Can you put them there?
Of course.
All right. So
Again, very interesting. I want to see your thoughts in the chat. What is this making you think? What is this making you feel? What is coming up for you? And so as we begin and as we still are thinking about AI, we want to think about its impact or effect on education. And this is helpful because we need to think about the way things are currently working now in order to imagine the way that they can work. And so, want to frame this, what we're going to see now, thinking about how do our students get help at home when they see questions or have questions about their schoolwork. This is going to show you a video or an example of AI tools in action.
Hi, my name is.
Actually, in this format,
Hello
I
there.
can't.
I'm here with my son, and I'd love you to tutor him on this math problem, but don't give him the answer. You can ask questions and nudge him in the right direction, but I really want to make sure he understands it himself. And he's here in the room, so you can talk to him directly.
Of course, I'd be happy to help. Let's look at the problem together. Can you first identify which sides of the triangle are the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse relative to angle alpha?
All right, so I'm pretty sure this is the angle alpha right here, right?
Perfect. That's correct. Now, looking at the triangle, which side do you think is the hypotenuse?
Really,
Remember the hypotenuse?
I'm not totally sure. I think it might be this one, but I really am not sure. This side AC.
You're close. Actually, side AC is called the adjacent side to the angle alpha. The hypotenuse is the longest side of a right triangle and is directly opposite the right angle. Can you find which one is the hypotenuse?
Oh, okay, I see. So, I think the hypotenuse is this really long side from A to B. Would that be correct?
Exactly. Well done. Now that you've identified the hypotenuse, can you identify which side is the opposite side to angle alpha?
And so, live tutoring with AI. The parent literally said nothing. The parent is sitting there supervising and set the foundation. Hey, this is what we're looking to do. And then the AI and the student work collaboratively to really dive into or get the answers to where exactly that hypotenuse was. And so one thing I want to point out is that Steve Jobs, he really makes a compelling analogy that highlights the way that computers, like bicycles, can augment human capabilities, really enabling individuals to accomplish more with less effort, amplifying our actual effort. And so what does he say? He says that what a computer is to me is the most remarkable tool that we've ever come up with. It's the equivalent to a bicycle for our minds. And when you think of it like this, avoiding AI in teaching and learning is like taking away the bicycle. But the way AI augments our capabilities is really more like a race car, y'all. So we know that there are students out there who are exploring and learning about AI. Those students have a race car. A student on a bicycle versus a student on a race car, we already know who's going to win. So to give every student access to the race car is what we need, is through teaching. How we give every student access to the race car is through teaching students about AI, the perils, the promises, and all the realities. Because AI is a game-changing technology for education that really has the potential to either widen the skills chasm and inequities that persist in our system, or it could really help us close the gaps. But if our students don't know about it, are we really supporting them? And so we have seen a bunch of examples. And based on what you've seen, would you make any changes to your why for introducing your students to AI? No need to share it, but just want to think. Your why at the beginning of the session may have been just to learn a little bit more. But now it may be, it could get more specific. Maybe I want to use AI tools to support, to bridge the gap in my students' learning. Maybe I want to use AI tools to excite my students about the future, right? Begin thinking a little more. And so we've had the chance to really see what was happening in the world of AI and explore some ways that it's changing. So now what this means for our students, we're going to talk about students and the future of learning, teaching, and jobs. Can I get another volunteer to read the quote on the screen for us? Oh, Jody, I definitely see your worry in the chat as well. Hi.
Hi. A lot of people working on AI pretend that it's only going to be too good, going to be, I'm sorry. A lot of people working on AI pretend that it's only going to be good. It's only going to be a supplement. No one is ever going to be replaced. Jobs are definitely going away. Full stop.
Can I get some raised hands to see who agrees with this? Who agrees with this quote? Yes, thank you, Kirk. I see you. A lot of folks may have, Elizabeth, I see you may have the same worry. Y'all, and that's okay, Madeline. Yes, I see, right? Rebecca, yes, we have these worries that AI is going to take away all the jobs for our babies, right? And while this may feel tough to hear, it's really a key to understand that jobs are always shifting, y'all. The printing press meant less people were actually needed to copy material. The automobile, we didn't need any more horses and carriages. Advances in technology during the era of machine have always been replacing jobs. So the question is not when. The question is, how do we prepare our students, our kids, right? So now let's see a bit more about how AI are performing on some of these academic tasks that our students are required to take, or, during their professional and academic journeys. I know it's a lot on the screen, but basically what you're going to be seeing is a graph that really shares the performance of ChatGPT on different versions of standardized tests. Along the bottom axis, right, you're going to see labels of standardized tests like AP Calculus, the bar exam, GRE, etc. The blue highlights how well GPT-3.5 did. And so let me back up a little bit. For those who are not familiar with ChatGPT, and for those who are familiar, we know that ChatGPT has many different levels. I believe that it was released on ChatGPT 3.0, and then 3.5 was the next version, and then you had 4.0, and you had 4.0 with vision as well, right? Which means you're able to upload what you're seeing to the AI, and the AI will work off a visual representation. So just wanted to give us that background. But the blue is how well GPT-3.5 did. The light green is how GPT-4 did without vision performance. And the dark green is how GPT-4 did with vision performance. So what you're going to be seeing highlighted now, right, is the AP Environmental Science exam on the far right got a 90%, which GPT-3.5, which is that original, with that second level of ChatGPT, the second version. So now you're going to see on AP English Lit, one of my specialties on the left side, it only got a 7% with GPT 3.5, and the other versions didn't really make a difference. And so now we're looking at the craziest, the bar exam on the left side, which it felt miserably with 3.5, but with 4.0 received almost 90%. So again, science, 90%. AP English, 7%. Law, at first horrible, but got a lot better. What does this mean? Oops, sorry. What are we noticing about ChatGPT's different test-taking abilities? I'm in the chat. Yes, come on. Create assignments that make the students think. Because AI cannot think for you. It can help you think. It can support your thinking, but it cannot think for you. And so as folks are sharing their thoughts and reactions to ChatGPT's test-taking abilities, a little bit of a tongue twister, okay, yes, it's giving learning from the data input we give it. Exactly. Still amazed, Gloria, always amazed. So what you're going to be thinking, right? AI's technology is going to keep changing, keep growing. So what we have to ask our students to do and learn has to evolve, y'all. So again, back on that idea that jobs will change, I'm going to show you a video of some designers discovering that Photoshop has integrated AI. And I do want you to take a look at these designers' expressions.
Oh my life does not. Oh my God. Oh my.
Okay. Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? Give me one word to describe the emotions on their face. How are these folks feeling? It's giving distressed. It is giving my job, my job, my job. You know, I would have the same concerns. I'm sorry, something's happening on my screen. Give me 1 second, y'all, to fix this really quickly. But I too would be deeply concerned about my job. And so I do want to highlight again, these designers look really, really serious because they believe that AI will affect their jobs in a major way. And so let me show you exactly what they were scared of. So, y'all, you see what the AI can do. And I'm an artist, and I know some of us feel are really like, this is horrible, right? Feel really strongly about AI. But for those students who want to be artists and who don't have the time to sketch all day, but still want to show their creative side, this allows them to bridge the gap, right? Where there is no limit to how creative our students can actually get, regardless of skill set. And so, yes, artists are like, dang, I used to charge extra for that, right? And now you can make it on the computer. So always thinking about what is the balance between integrity, right? Artistic integrity and developing things with AI. Well, let's do another example. Want to show y'all what ChatGPT vision, we talked about this earlier when we highlighted on the exam. Want to show y'all what the GPT vision can do in creating code. A whole website, y'all. Apologies, let me get that in order. Perfect.
There's a ton of little details here that I want you to pay attention to. So I mocked up this whiteboarding session here, right? This is just a totally fake example. But I passed that photo to GPT-4 Vision with this basic prompt to generate the code for it. Let me set this down. And I really want you to pay attention to this, right? So it generated the code, I pasted that into VS Code here, and now watch this. So you're going to see step 1 here is enter your name. Check out the diagram here. So the model was able to see that I had these arrows, and it actually flipped the order of these. And I wanted to test if it could do that. And sure enough, it does. Now, if I do a name here, sorry, I'm trying to type with one hand, and you're going to see, what is your email, McKay? Okay. You're going to see in this step, I specified should refer to you by name once provided. So it flipped these steps, so it knew name, then email, and it knew once it got to email, it needed to refer to me by name. This is
so just a little example. But imagine you have an idea, you have a wireframe. You're not sure how to code, don't know anything about a front end or a back end or a GitHub, right? That does not stop you. That should not stop you. It should have never stopped you, but it no longer has to. Let's keep going, y'all. I talked about this earlier. This is my favorite example. But when we think about what AI is doing in the real world, people never think about agriculture and what happens in that market. But let's see how AI is actually changing not 24 seconds for this ad, how AI is actually changing the world of agriculture. It'll so be worked after these 19 seconds. I want you to think about what could possibly be. What could AI really do with the plants? It's going to show you in 5. Nope, in 5. Thank you for waiting. It's going to be worth the wait, I promise.
AI revolution and how artificial intelligence is hard at work on some farms. Robots doing the work of dozens of people. Jake Ward has our story.
Okay, yes, it's a killer robot with an AI brain. But hear me out. It kills weeds. On a 2,000-acre organic farm in Central California, this $1.2 million machine does the work of 30 people 24 hours a day.
The machine is thinking. It's learning, it's understanding what it's seeing.
What AI is great at is telling the difference between things. In this case, the difference between chard and a weed, and then killing the weeds with lasers. CEO Paul Mikesell has invented a system that fries weeds too small for a human hand to grab, in bursts that last only milliseconds. The field smells like burnt popcorn.
The whole trick here is the lasers disrupt the cellular cycle within the plant with heat energy.
It takes a rack of servers to recognize 40 crops and 80 types of weeds.
This machine has got more computing power than 24 Teslas in it. It's essentially a mobile data center.
The farm's owner says the laser weeder will pay for itself in a single year, and that it solves his single biggest problem, which is finding workers.
We're just not getting the influx of new folks that want to come in to this deal. Now, in a job like behind us on this tractor where someone could be making, a really good wage, $30 an hour, he's got a laptop, that's a little easier to find that person.
Labor unions say
So again, y'all, this idea of the job market came up. No one wants to pick weeds, they said. Because I know you don't want to do it. I know that I also don't want to do it, right? So people are still being mindful about replacing labor and just thinking about how can we reincorporate that labor into this new area of the job market. Things that you're probably seeing around town. Robo-taxis, right? They have been piloted in Phoenix, but I think they're also in LA. And people are using them because they don't want to talk to nobody when they're driving. No, not actually, right? But it's an efficient way and a safe way to get around, alternative to getting around town. I know y'all been thinking about this as well, and we had to bring it up, but deep fakes. Images like these are all over the web. My mother, I think she might have this image in her home, but the least to say is when I asked her if it was real, she couldn't quite tell me. And that is what the worry comes from. Are people able to identify these AI-generated images? And while this may seem harmless, imagine what else people are able to create. And so we just spent about 30 or so minutes thinking about what's happening, what we're seeing in AI, and the impact on the future. So now I want us to return to our why that we shared at the top of our session. Based on what you've seen today, has your why changed at all? I want y'all to take 30 seconds to revise that and share that back with the group. Yes, I'm glad y'all are seeing some new things, some new uses of AI. Excited to see those whys. It's a requirement for basic survival, okay? Has reinforced my initial thoughts. AI is about the co-chairs. Today we need to learn to embrace it. Exactly. So y'all still on the right path. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down, which is important. We do have only a short amount of time left in our session today. So I am going to begin to whiff through some of the material. But the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. And I really wanted to touch on what AI can do. COVID really highlighted that there are multiple digital divides between the haves, those who have and do not have, right? Internet access devices, cell phones, computers. Will AI be just a Band-Aid? We do not know, but in just a few short years, the world could really divide amongst those who have the critical knowledge to effectively and safely use AI powerfully and those who do not. And so we think about AI readiness, right? We're talking about some of the perils and the promises that come with AI, right? AI can do a lot for education, can open a lot of doors when it comes to accessibility and really supporting teachers in diverse learning communities. Also can support teacher burnout. So yes, there are things that need that personal touch, but baby, sometimes we just need a little assistance, right? And AI can definitely do that as well. But again, always want to keep top of mind, keeping our student information and student data safe. We were going to play a little game, but we're not going to play it today. But I would encourage you to, I'm going to share it in the chat so you can play on your own. Well, okay, we're just going to play it one time, just one. So drop an L or R in the chat based on which image you think is a real person. Which one do you think is real? Is it the left or is it the right? Is it the left or the right? L, 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 L. Okay. That was good. That was easy. Incorrect, y'all. Okay, that was wrong. The image on the right is actually the real image. I want y'all to stay safe out here with these AI generated deceptions. Stay safe, y'all. Okay, but we have to play that game. I think it's so pivotal as a part of our lesson because it shows you that AI is here to stay and getting better every day. There are no AI deception. There are no tools to tell you whether or not these people exist or not. So our students need to stay on their toes. Okay. Deep fakes, AI generated images, videos, audios are going to be a regular occurrence, even in politics. So critical thinking and curiosity are key when we're investigating these things. So again, highlighting deep fakes and how we need to make sure we're safeguarding our students and our people. Another thing, deep fakes can cause real harm. Things are happening at different schools where people are using it to fuel these really massive debates and heated arguments. And so we as educators need to know so we can prepare our students to respond. Again, one thing I want to highlight before we leave, we know we want to talk about cheating, and I just want to let y'all know students are not cheating more than they were before. They're just a little slicker about it. Or actually maybe not as slick, maybe a little bit more lazy. But we have Spark Notes, y'all. We have Google. And so our students are just using AI as a tool, but they're not using it as a tool because they have no guidance. If they have guidance, then they can use it correctly. But because there is no correct way to use it, it seems as if students are cheating. And of course, those AI detectors do not work, y'all, because they are a little biased against our L students, against our students who have different backgrounds, and also does not take into effect that nuance that comes with our different learners. And so in that, I want to leave us with this definition, which is why we are here, is really making sure that AI literacy is a part of your curriculum or something that you are thinking about as an educator. And it is not simply about, it is not computer science. That is not what AI literacy is about. No, it isn't. It's really about understanding AI's limits, implications, and ethical considerations, right? And what AI literacy does, it sets the foundation for AI readiness, which is making sure that folks have the underlying skills and ability to apply their AI literacy to their personal, academic, and professional endeavors, right? AI support, you should be able to leverage AI to make yourself feel more powerful, right? Not the other way around. And so with that, we have some basic steps for you to think about. We have some tools for you to access that I'll share in the chat as well. And so I want to make sure that I have some time. You have everything from conversation starters to full lessons that you can use and start with your students. Ooh. And so you'll see me drop these links in the chat. But if you're interested in learning more from us and just diving deeper into our trainings, we have some more available on our site as well. You'll see me put those in the chat too. So what you'll see in the chat now is a few different examples of some of our products that we offer that are free. And you'll also see a few links to our trainings that build on this initial training that we have here. So again, I want to highlight that AI is like water. Different brands got Smart Water, Essentia, Dasani, but it's all the same. You just got to make sure what you're drinking is safe and that you're knowledgeable about the products that you're using, especially when it comes to AI tools. And with that, y'all, here's some guidance. for thinking about how students should use AI tools. And you will see me drop a link for feedback in the chat. Thank you guys for joining us again. Love seeing your thoughts, reactions in the chat. I love seeing your takeaways. Hopefully it got y'all thinking. I'm handing it over to Amy. Absolutely, guys. Thank you. Thank you. I know we had to breeze through, but I'm going to share that link to our feedback form. Would love your feedback about today's session. Always trying to improve. This is going to be a shorter version of our regular sessions. They're usually an hour, with me an hour and 5 minutes. So, thank y'all for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Natasha, for sharing your resources, your knowledge with us. And yeah, don't forget to take a look at the agenda. We do have a little bit of a break till 11:15 for the next session. So with that, again, thank you, Natasha, and again, we'll be looking forward to giving you your feedback there in the chat.
Thank you, friends. The feedback form should be quick. The session is called Building Your Why for our educator series. And you have 5 more sessions that couple with this to continue building your AI literacy, your confidence, and empowering your students. I'm not a singer, y'all. I'm not.